Hello everyone, welcome to the Green Man channel. Hope you're doing good and well. So time for another album review this week, and this time I'm tackling the third full-length studio album from Australian Shoegaze band Flying Colours and their release You Never Know, which came out on the 17th of March via Club AC30, and the album is 10 tracks and about 35 minutes in length. So I wasn't super familiar with this band until quite recently when I checked out their previous album, Fantasy Country, and really enjoyed that. So I went into this album with reasonably high expectations. This is also, I think, one of the more highly anticipated shoegaze releases of 2023, certainly so far. This is one I had in my schedule that I was going to check out and review. And I have to say, this is an album which I think it does sound pretty familiar at times, but it does certainly serve up some really good, bittersweet, quite up-tempo style shoegaze, familiar fuzzy guitar sounds. They're using quite a lot of that, quite a lot of distortion at times, but you've also got those, like I say, there's kind of quite up-tempo drum beats. It sort of reminds me a bit of some of these kind of 80s post-punk indie rock bands with the style they're using here, or synth pop even at times. And yeah, it's a good album with some really catchy numbers that puts you in quite a good mood. This isn't melancholic shoegaze. This is more on the other side of the spectrum for me. It's a bit more on the bittersweet side. It's got happy moments, quite sort of, like I say, quite up-tempo stuff with kind of sad sounding vocals, and you've got the whole male and female mixture coming into the mix here of this album, and that works very well as I think it often does. But Flying Colours, I think, really put it to quite good use on certain songs on this release. So yeah, who's in Flying Colours? You have Brodie J. Brummer and Gemma O'Connor kind of sharing guitar and vocal duties here. You've got Melanie Barbaro as the bassist, and Andy Lloyd Russell is on the drums. Let's go into some of the tracks. I actually really, for me, I found myself liking the tracks kind of at the very beginning and the end of the album in particular on this release. So Lost Then Found starts, I think, on a really good note, good hook. Immediately, you're kind of not hanging around too long before you get to hear those very familiar fuzzy shoegazy guitars coming into the mix, and I thought that was a good way to sort of get you into the mood of the album. Long Distance really kind of threw in quite heavy distortion here, I thought, and some pretty delicate guitar licks as well, and you kind of had this whirring sound throughout this track, which I thought works quite well with the style they were going for. I Live in a Small Town I quite liked as well, the kind of happy chanty chorus that had. It's really well done verses in this track as well. I do like it when bands take time to put work into the verses as well as the choruses. Yeah, for me, where the album lulled a bit, and I don't really think it was a big lull, it wasn't a big lull, but I found some of the middle tracks kind of not particularly interesting, and just like I said at the start of the review, some of this album felt very familiar and like material, and I've listened to an awful lot over the years, and quite a lot in this style, and there was just a sense at times I felt like this is stuff I feel like I might have heard before. Not all of it, but just at times in this album. Where I liked the kind of three last tracks on this album was where I thought was the album's high, actually, for me, was Goodbye to Music, Modern Dreams, and Never Forget. Really, really good jams, good themes, good melodies, and really liked those. I particularly enjoyed the last track, which I just thought, was really had those really bittersweet harmonies coming into things again. And I just loved the melody of this track in particular. Again, putting good use of those male and female vocals coming together, creating a real kind of sense of longing, like shoegaze so often does. But that last track just had something about it that made me love it that bit more than some of the other tracks on this album. So overall, this is a very solid release. I think I would definitely say, if you like this kind of sound, you'll probably enjoy this album. If, like me, you've heard a lot of shoegaze and dreampop over time, you may just think, oh yeah, I like this, but it does sound a bit familiar. So yeah, I'm going to give this album as my final score for Flying Colours. You Never Know. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Anyway, do let me know in the comments what you thought of this Flying Colours album. Did you rate it like really highly? Do you think you're kind of with me? You think it's very good? Or just let me know your thoughts in the comments on this one. What were your favourite tracks? I look forward to hearing from you. Otherwise, until next time, take care everyone, and bye for now.